Coming at you live from the Smoky Mountain Ghostbusters headquarters, this is the Mass Turbulence Podcast. Good evening and welcome to the Mass Turbulence Podcast, brought to you by the Smoky Mountain Ghostbusters. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Doing good.
Hello, hello. Looks like we're finally doing our first live stream. I see it streaming on Facebook.
Yes.
We have one right now. We have one viewer, which is probably me.
After several false starts, we have finally gotten the live streams working, and we're also live streaming on YouTube tonight as well. So
yeah, apologies in advance.
Big deal.
Apologies in advance for an unedited live. Here we go at it. We usually cut out all the times I mess up, so now that's all will be in there.
Well, that means then when we actually air the podcast and I do all the cleanup, I can just take all those things and add them on to the end as blooper reels.
Okay.
You're talking about you don't mess up all that much, Josh.
I know. Well, nobody knows that because we take it all out.
Well, yeah, but I'm the one that does. I have to take out too much. It works out pretty good. So if you want to listen to the Mass Turbulence Podcast, obviously now you can catch us live as we're recording on YouTube and Facebook. And hear the podcast that we've cleaned up on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, and just about any other podcast out there. And if you for an episode, we would love to hear us at smokymntghostbusters@gmail.com, or just drop us a message on our Facebook page at Knoxbusters.
And it looks like we're going live on YouTube too. I see it. So success.
Yeah. Makes me happy considering I had with this thing. So pretty excellent. Hey, and we also got Mikey with us tonight too. He just joined up. How you doing, Mike?
And FYI, Mike, we are live and recording video, everything. Surprise. And my dog's about to bark.
Speaking of your dog, I saw your Facebook post today about and I thought that was really hilarious, but I'm not going to let Matthew know because he would probably offer you double asking.
Yeah, well, I was pretty much up at 3:30 this morning dealing with a dog full of anxiety, pacing back and forth in the bed and shaking and trembling and, breathing heavy and everything. She just cannot handle a thunderstorm. So it was a fun 3 or 4 hours this morning.
Yeah. Is a big dog too. So a dog pacing back and forth on the bed is obviously
Yes, yeah, I'm all scratched. Yeah, I'm all scratched up. Yeah, she just kept going one side to the other, climbing on top of me, and just sharp claws, 62-pound dog. So yeah, she was not having it. I think she was possessed by Zool or something. Poor thing.
Oh goodness. Are you the gatekeeper?
Well, she has cosplayed with us a few times. I got the horns. She's our little terror dog.
Give me a second. I've got a bad tangle over here, and my headphones are off.
Who do we have here today, John?
Well, tonight we actually a good friend of ours. His name is Chris Gay, and he's with the New Jersey Ghostbusters. How you doing, Chris? Welcome to the show.
Doing great. Glad to be getting our franchise back up and on the road.
Now, you said New Jersey Ghostbusters, but apparently there are a bunch of New Jersey Ghostbusters. So do you need to distinguish yourself from the other ones, or how many do you have up in New Jersey?
So there's about 3 or 4 active groups. It's always in flux. We started back in 2007. took a hiatus about 2016, bringing things back together now. Started to bring it back together in 2019 into 2020, but we know how that went. So
Exactly.
just now actually getting back on the road, back out to events. We had about 12 to 15 in our chapter, and we're the South Jersey part. If you look at our state on the map, we're kind of the dangly bit at the bottom. Makes it easy to find us. Jersey it's not a big state, but there's a lot of traffic. So 100 miles here is a 150-mile drive anywhere else in the summer.
Yep,
So
you can't turn left.
Exactly. So yeah, we stick towards the bottom part of the state and do team up with the other groups when there's bigger events. Hasn't been anything in the past couple years, obviously, but hoping to get back to bigger events soon.
So with that, have you ever went to conventions before and there've been like multiple groups there, or is that something y'all would coordinate ahead of time? Or I'm just curious, would y'all just combine?
Typically, if we go to like a Wizard World Con or something up in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Ghostbusters would be there. There might be groups out of Delaware, Maryland. Those huge cons, yeah, there's always several groups, and it's usually a surprise.
Well, you said you started up in 2007, and that's a pretty good amount of time before a lot of groups really got started. What got you the idea to do it, and how did you build your equipment?
So
you're like one of the OGs out there if you look at it.
Yeah, it's funny looking at all the new equipment and all the new packs and thinking, wow, 3D printing, that would have been nice when we got started. So I worked at Spirit Halloween and Spencer Gifts corporate office back in 2007. They have a Halloween costume contest there every year. And, winning a Halloween costume contest at Spirit Halloween headquarters, kind of a big deal. So I went a little bit out of my way, and not only did I build a costume, which was a Home Depot wood pack, electrical boxes, nothing pretty, a junk pack it would have been called back then. I also made my first Ecto, which, again, not pretty. It was PVC, plywood. It was rough, but we ended up parking that out front by the sign, then won the costume contest, surprise, surprise. And then the local news showed up. And everything, it was history from there. Ghostbusters at Spirit Halloween. I wish I had a news clip, but that was kind of a surprise that it got that big that fast. Next thing we knew, we were in the local parades, going to conventions, and people started calling us out of nowhere.
Like I said, we started in 2016. Same deal. I mean, most every one of us had a junk built pack. I mean, I had plywood, electrical boxes. I had a resistor of a microwave. Whatever I could find in the trash or buy at Lowe's like you did. But it was love. People enjoyed it.
But
yeah, as long as it looked like it.
To my knowledge, I don't.
Guys beat. My first Proton pack was an upside down backpack with a string and a He-Man sword attached. If you want a junk pack, there you go.
I bet you had the power.
Well, mine was a cardboard box, 2 belt straps, and a vacuum cleaner hose, and some crayons.
Now, if we're talking about cosplay pack, or we're talking about when I was a kid, I actually had the Kenner pack. That was the closest thing I had when I was a kid. When I got older,
I would have sold
first
kidney for that thing back then.
Oh, I had the slime blower too. I was a spoiled, rotten little brat. Apparently, when you're an only child, what do you expect? But then I had my first pack was built out of MDF, 1/4-inch MDF. It was heavy. Didn't think about it at first. Like, oh, MDF, it ain't too bad. It'd be easy to build with. No, it was heavy. It probably weighed 50 pounds, but it did the job.
Yeah, I had one friend that had the Kenner pack, and my brother actually sent me a Facebook Marketplace thing a few days ago. Did you have this? And it's something I've never seen before. It was like a Ghostbusters 2 driving steering wheel or something. Yeah, but I guess it came up at the same time as the slime blower pack. But we're getting off topic. I'll see if I can find that while we're sitting here talking. But I've never seen that before.
I was wondering myself though if I know how we did when we first started out. Did you jump in to get invited out to do community charity events, or just mainly business events, or what at first?
Yeah, small community charity events. There was a local spa that would do charity days, and they had us park out front a couple times. Then there's a community parade every spring called the Doodah Day Parade, which honors comedians of the past. So natural fit. And
Yeah.
after
Oh my
that,
goodness! Y'all,
Yeah.
if our local spas had us out as Ghostbusters, my wife would suit up in a heartbeat.
Well, I'll tell you what. After wearing a proton pack for a couple hours, a chair
You need
massage
it.
is the best thing ever.
Yeah. Oh, the shoulders.
Right?
I'll put that in next year's budget, guys.
Worth it.
A massage therapist for the team.
Right at the end of a long convention weekend, definitely worth it. And the first big con we did, it was the National Haunters Convention for haunted houses. We went to that. We set up inside, parked the Ecto in a building. If you haven't driven your Ecto inside of a building yet, it's wild. It's so much fun. We set up there, and all of these haunted house owners out of Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, were like, hey, we could use you in our queue line. And we went crazy after that. We hit up to 50 some events one year, mostly Halloween, October loaded. So much fun. When you go out to those, you're in character the whole time. You don't have to bring character. It's a haunt. It's supposed to be spooky and scary and convincing people, yeah, it's that building over there is haunted. They called us out. We're here for real. So much fun.
Yeah, my plan Sunday, if anybody asks, what's the Ghostbusters do, or Saturday, whichever day I'm at Ripley's, if anybody asks, what's the Ghostbusters doing here on Easter, I'm going to be like, well, I'm waiting for the Ripley's Haunted House to open. Just hanging out before, because it's like, quarter mile down the road. So I've already got my excuse planned out.
Today we're dropping off. We're not picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, do y'all have in your team right now?
We have a Facebook group we restarted back up. We have about 6 or 8 on the group, although our first outing, it was just myself. I actually ran across another buster from, I think he was from Delaware. He hung out with us for the day. So we're just in the very infancy of getting started back up. So actively 1, but we have 6 to 8 theoretical.
Okay. Well, hey, if there's anything as a group to help you out, let us know. And we would be more than happy to help you get your, recruiting word out there. Whatever we can.
That's definitely part of it, getting back out, getting on podcasts and whatnot. Just again, we've got events coming up. Right now, I'm actually working on organizing a zombie prom in August. So we'll be at that with a local haunted attraction, which I happen to run. So it's really fun to be able to dovetail Ghostbusters in with the haunt and all the other little side events we do. So there's a lot of cool things coming up soon. So excited to get back out.
Awesome.
Let me back up for 1 second. That toy I was talking about was the real Ghostbusters Ghost Sweeper. I have never seen that before, and I was like, "That is cool." I don't know if
Is that like the Ghost Chipper from 2016?
It's what it looks like. Yeah, look up a Ghost Sweeper, and then it looks like that's what it does. It's like a street sweeper for ghosts. So yeah, it's like a wood chipper.
So
But
that's where they got the idea.
I guess so. I've never seen it. I was like, that is different. So anyway, sorry. Back to we can get back to the other thing now.
Well, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Got you into ghost busting? Like, what was that one thing that you just like? This is it. This is what I love to do.
See, as a little kid, I was the one that sat there watching Real Ghostbusters in the Kinder Proton Pack every Saturday morning. And the funny tangent with that is my dad was a firefighter. Now I'm a firefighter, career and volunteer. Best job in the world. And the similarities between being a firefighter and a Ghostbuster, it's kind of hilarious. You suit up, the bell goes off, you run out the door. Majority of the time, they call it smells and bells. So we're walking around with a thermal camera, scanning the room. I've got a 4-gas detector in the other hand, scanning the room, looking for things. Oh, there might be something inside the wall. It's ghost busting for money. And it's more dangerous, but
most importantly, you need to go down a fire pole.
We don't have one. Nowadays, insurance companies get real iffy on those. I did work at one station that had a slide. That was still kind of fun, but the pole doesn't work.
Yeah, actually, think it was a couple of years ago, right before COVID, we were doing our annual OSHA HAZWOPER training, and I remember talking to our trainer about that. I was like, "How do firefighters get away with the pole? Because this breaks a lot of OSHA violations." But sad day. Yep. So we're still trying to find us a firehouse and let us go down the pole in our suits. One day.
Right. I know of one, but I don't have any control there. So.
Oh, shoot.
So you said you started out with the. What was your favorite episode of all time?
Oh, I got hooked early. Probably the Kilowatt episode. That was so much fun. Just watching the what was the helicopter? The Ecto 3, was it?
Ecto 2.
Ecto 2.
Ecto 2. Yes. Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a whole world to it. Ooh, there's more.
Yeah, that was a really good thing about the cartoon. It expanded the adventures, told more story. And I really like that because you got a new movie every week, pretty much.
Yeah, a girl I work with.
Resolve it in 28 minutes without commercials.
Well, they're the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, a girl I work with told me yesterday. Her daughter, she has twin daughters, and they're 7, and so they've always known me or seen me when they come to work, and they've seen the Ecto 1. They just know I'm a Ghostbuster. Like they've come to they've been to a few of the events, and they've seen me as a Ghostbuster, but they never watched it or anything. And their mom told me that they've been wanting to watch it because of me. So Sunday they finally got to watch it. So they watched the first movie, and I was telling her after she told me that, I was like, now they need to watch all the cartoons. Get them on the real Ghostbuster cartoons. I mean, they're 7 years old. They love the first movie, so I'm like, just keep going with the cartoons. They'll love it.
Cartoons is what started it for me, and I think my favorite episode is either The Boogeyman Cometh or Knock Knock from season. Those are probably my 2 favorite episodes.
Yeah,
I'm the old guy here. I've seen the movie.
The Boogeyman Cometh was great.
But I remember the Killer Watt episode too, and it was a good episode. And a little shameless plug for one of our other episodes is if you go back, we actually review the entire of the Real Ghostbusters. So go back and check that episode out.
Yeah, we're going to review the second season at some point. I'm still working my way through them to refresh my memory.
That's going to be a long episode.
Yeah, maybe we should do it in parts. Yeah, first 10 episodes.
So, Chris, what kind of charities are you looking to support, or have you already got a couple of charities that you work with?
So in the past, we did a bit with American Cancer Society. We've switched a little bit now. We bounce back and forth between the local Toys for Tots drive, and that's seasonal. We start with them about October or so. Year-round, though, Doctors Without Borders. Right now, they're doing some amazing work with Ukraine, sending over medical supplies, practitioners, and taking care of the people both in Ukraine and that are evacuating out of the country. So, and plus their financials are amazing. I think it's 90% goes to the cause, 1 or 2% admin, and then marketing. So every dollar that goes there does a lot. So love that charity. Plus, it's kind of ironic. Doctors Without Borders, different type of doctor.
So I'm assuming you just raise the money and donate it to them. They don't send you over another country in uniform.
I did get offered to go work overseas. I don't have a passport. Plus, I think my new job would probably kill me if I told them I'm going to be gone for a month. But right now, we're selling our patches on our Facebook page. We have an Etsy as well. We have T-shirts available on our website. And anything we make profit off of those, we just send right to them electronically.
You have a patch on hand. You can show us your logo.
I do, and I just dropped it.
Awesome.
There it is. So we put a video up on our YouTube just recently. If you've ever been to New Jersey, there's a major roadway called the Garden State Parkway. And the road sign for that is it's this shape. I mean, there's obviously not a ghost in it. There's New Jersey in the middle. So it was kind of natural that, okay, we're going up and down the parkway to go to events all the time. And all these parkway vehicles have a logo on it that kind of looks like the No Ghost logo. So, well, it worked out perfectly and gets us a lot of that. Not only a double look, a triple look of like, wait, are they with the state?
I guess you kind of do work for the government in a way if you're Ghostbusters. So.
Yeah, I've had a contract or two.
You don't work for Peacock, do you? Well, I can't remember what's that paranormal.
Yeah, I know
it's
you're
from
talking about. Right. There was a weird little parallel back in the IDW books when I can't remember the name of the group, but the guys with the black SUV came in and started trying to take jobs away from the Ghostbusters. That black SUV looked a whole lot like our old Ecto.
Oh,
So
really?
in the back of my head, I'm thinking like it's. I don't think it's us, but it's a tall guy with my haircut and a black Ecto SUV that kind of looks like our. Interesting.
Was that the group that had Ron and like the three ladies with him, or
I think so.
Yeah, the guy that
Ironically, at the
makes
time,
that was
It may have been you.
Maybe.
So what happened to your black SUV Ecto? That's a cool looking Ecto.
So I have a video working on showing its demise. It parked out front of my house for a while after the group kind of broke up after 2016, took a hiatus. And unfortunately, the tailgate seal along the top of the rear tailgate failed, and it filled with water, and I had no idea. So I go out after a rough winter, go to open it up, and it was the swamp of Dagobah inside.
Oh,
Still ran just fine, started right up, but I had to wear a Tyvek suit to hopped in. I drove it down the road to the haunted attraction I run, and basically drove through the woods into the cemetery scene and ditched it in there. So it looked great in the cemetery scene that year. It was very much the rundown, rusted up Ecto look from some of the art that came out a few years ago. And at the end of that year, we brought it back out of the woods and cut it up for an extrication demonstration for the fire company for Fire Prevention Week that following year in October, which was also Ghostbusters car. We had some skeletons in it with GoPros on, and a promo for our haunted walk, plus a way for the Ecto to go out in a blaze of glory. So sad to see it go, but better than going right to a junkyard.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we had one that caught fire as we was pulling into the event, and luckily the guy had a fire extinguisher. We got it put out pretty quick, but we pushed it in the building, and it stayed there all weekend. Knowing it was toast and done. We had to then push it out after the convention and get it towed away.
Had a very close call. One of the best things we ever did. It was the New York City Village Halloween Parade. Million-some spectators, amazing huge crowds. And during that parade, one of our crew members tossed a proton pack or a spare pack in the back of the truck, and it knocked the ground lug off of the battery that fed the roof rack. So I kind of felt like Scotty during the parade, giving it all I've got to make all the lights work, the audio work. But the more juice I gave it on the alternator, the more I smelled a burning smell. And I'm thinking, oh, dear Lord, here we are on TV cameras, million spectators. If this thing catches on fire, oh, my.
And you don't want us exposing ourselves.
I'm giving her all I got, Captain.
Exactly.
Can I give her any more, Captain?
Can't give it any more.
Yeah. Other than Dragon Con, if you can ever get it in a huge parade, that is the one to go to. That was an amazing evening.
Yeah,
I went to Dragon Con in 2019, and first time I'd ever been. Last time I've been, of course, but it was an amazing parade. I enjoyed it.
I'm due for to go to Dragon Con.
Yeah, well, my Ecto recently, it was dying on me. It was a crazy thing. I couldn't figure out why it's dying. It would just run fine, then just stop, and nothing would happen when we tried to turn it over. I took it to one shop. They couldn't figure it out. So I finally took it to the dealer, and they said they figured it out. They said, a wire came loose, like a grounding wire, so you weren't getting power. And so they got it fixed. And this was like 4 days before the St. Patrick's Day parade. And I was like, I'm not 100% sure if it's fixed or not. So we're still going to put my Jeep in front of it. In case it dies, I can put a strap on it and pull it through that parade instead of us pushing it. But then we got 10 inches of snow, and they canceled the parade. But, yeah, I was terrified of that thing breaking down during that parade and having to push it in front of everybody.
I think it would have been a better show if we had a whole bunch of Ghostbusters pushing Ecto to a parade.
Well, it'd be just
Well-
like the video game from the NES. Remember?
Yeah.
They ran out of gas and had to push it.
That would be funny. We'd be like, we're out of gas.
You know, if you watch the special, I guess I call it the director's cut of Ghostbusters 1 that came on the new box set. During they had some alternate footage in the montage, and they actually had a scene where it shows Ecto breaking down, and they're getting out of the car, opening the hood, right there in the movie. So that
Needs
was
to do brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box. So you mentioned New.
800.
Yeah, you mentioned, of course, you live close to New York City. Did you get to go up for the premiere or anything during that, the new movie premiere stuff?
So I found out about that about a day after it happened, and I was sick when I found out I missed it. But oh well, I'll wait 30 years and I'll be 65, but I'll make the next one.
Oh, that's got to hurt being so close.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
I
with a
saw
little
friends
bit of luck,
posting it.
we'll get another before the next 30 years.
I pray so.
Or a series or something. Because I mean, yeah, I'm not no spoilers, but everybody should have seen that movie by now. But after
of
the
potential.
after credits scene, there's got to be something going on. You know.
It was either
There
that
should
or
be.
the video game coming out this year.
Nah. It looks good though. I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think it's been 30 years, and you see that, and you're like, huh, something's not right.
Yeah. I think that video game's going to flop, but we'll wait and see. We don't want to digress on that.
The concept is cool. I mean, it's kind of like a Dead by Daylight concept, you know, hunter and killer, you know, type thing, or hunter and you know, this instance, ghost.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll play it and try it out, but the previous games that came out like that just wasn't my cup of tea. So we'll wait and
I'll
see.
be honest with you, I have the same concerns as you, Josh, that a Ghostbusters without a story is, I just think it's going to fall a little flat, but we'll wait and see.
Well, I mean, think about it this way: they took away our online mode and didn't give it to us for the remastered of the video game. I mean, it's practically the same thing, except this time you get to be a ghost. That's the only difference. I mean, then there was no story really to the online mode. I mean, that's what I think of it as. Pretty much you're catching ghosts online with other people. I mean, it's about the same premise.
Well, the whole fun of it is making your own story. Just ain't that right, Chris? Just like you have your story about how your group starts, everything goes on. We have our story. The whole thing about it is let's make our own story out of it.
I'm
I
not
can
sure
see
how
where- I
I'd
see
feel
where
if it
you're
ends
coming
up being Fortnite style, but maybe.
That's what I think it's going to be. We'll wait and see. But the studio that's produced the game has come out. They're the ones that did that Friday the 13th game and the Predator Hunting Grounds, where it's just
Those are good.
to each their own. Wasn't for me. And I love Predator too. I was really excited to play it, and I was just like, it's not my thing.
Friday
I
the
just don't,
13th was good until there was a lawsuit and they couldn't work on the game no more. That's what
Yeah.
ruined that game. So that's not their fault.
like I said, it's just that type of game's not for everybody, and it's just not for me. But I'm sure we'll have fun with us playing it together. That'd be kind of. I'm
That's
sure that
true.
could be something
So,
fun we could do.
So, Chris, tell us a little bit what's your rig set up? Like, what kind of pack do you have?
So mine goes back to the 2008, 2009 GB Fans days. It is a fiberglass shell. It was Exo-Ray electronics, but I'm slowly converting over to more modern. Like right now it runs off, it used to run off of 12 C-cell batteries, heavy as could be. I just swapped it out. Now it's powered off a DeWalt drill battery. Amazing. More power, less weight. The thrower was a resin kit, although I just swapped that out for one of the HasLab throwers. And we also ordered 2 of the HasLab packs, so I have something for new members, rookies, so they have something to wear. And we still have a couple of the custom packs. You might be able to kind of see one in the background. We'll see. Scoot around there. We have there it is, very custom super capacitor pack that was really lightweight. At the time, one of our members was kind of tiny, and putting a 30-pound pack on a 90-pound person doesn't make a lot of sense. So made the custom pack as well. And again, getting into our own custom lore. Oh, yeah, this is the battery supercapacitor pack that you charge up instead of making its own power. So different options, but it's in flux right now, definitely. I'm not 26 anymore, so wearing the pack all day, you feel it a little more than I did at the time back then.
Yeah, I still try to Iron Man it. I pay for it, but I like to, convention starts, I put it on, it doesn't come off until I'm done. But I do lean against it. I do lean against the car a little bit and kind of take some of the weight off. But I like to try to Iron Man it, which isn't easy because I had to stop today and go get another heating pad to keep at the office for my lower back.
A lot of times you'll see me standing at the table about like this right here, just like leaning down, trying to get the weight off my shoulders.
Mine stays on until I feel my vertebrae compressing, and then it's kind of I got to get this off, or I'm going to be like unable to move here in the next 2 hours.
I was just lucky that mine's a Studio Creations shell and it's not that heavy. So mine probably weighs about 25 pounds. I mean, that's a lot of weight, but if you set the Alice pack right and adjust the straps right, I don't feel it that much on my shoulders or my back. But
I just like straight up just being Walter Peck, and I carry a small briefcase. So
that's the way to get around that.
I sent you to
Turn
jail
these off,
one
gentlemen.
time.
Turn all of these off.
Shut it down. These men are consummate snowball artists.
Your mother. But that was fun. I was there when he dressed up as Walter Peck.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. That was definitely a trip to the jail. They had the Mandalorian mercs arrest me, and they took me out to I guess it's like a little bounty jails. If you're not familiar with the Mandalorian mercs, they do their fundraising. Like if you're at a convention, you pay them like small donation, and they'll go track down the person at the convention and arrest you, and bring you back and put you in a little jail cell, and everybody makes fun of you. So
Have some.
they've done that to me, which is funny. Yeah, they also did it one time to our guy that plays Louis Tully, and that was hilarious. He was in character the entire time they were arresting him and walking him through the convention. It was a sight to behold. Like so,
your taxes.
yeah, yeah, yes, I have some.
Have some.
So y'all got a lot going on coming up, Chris? Like a lot of events planned out this year so far?
So we did a convention. It was Nerd Fest was our first time out. That was back in February. There's a South Jersey, I think it's Geek Fest this weekend. We're going to try to make it out to. We had a table at Nerd Fest. Geek Fest is a little further away, so just going to go visit and walk through there. Summer is strange around here because things get really busy, but it's bigger events. And something strange I've noticed that happened since 2016, a lot of professional costume companies have popped up. They do princesses and heroes. They don't say it's Marvel characters, but it is. And they've got a lot of contracts with the different venues and local governments around here. So a lot of the places that I used to have an in with, and I would send an email and be there in a heartbeat, it seems like they have exclusive agreements with these professional companies now for costume characters. So I'm hitting a couple brick walls on that, which I didn't see coming. So
That's interesting. I haven't heard of that happening.
So we've got a question from the audience for you, Chris. What do you think about members dressing up as ghost characters?
That would be awesome. Seeing like a Scolari brother or even something custom, that would be great. Although one thing I did learn, we cannot do that at a Christmas parade. We tried it once. And the kids will cheer for a Ghostbuster at a Christmas parade, but if there's a ghost at a Christmas parade, oh my God, they cry, they scream, they run. Oh, it is a different crowd of children that go to Christmas parades and Halloween parades. Learn that one the hard way.
Like what was the ghost? So we know not to do that.
Just a ghost of Christmas Past. It was just a real simple ghost mask from Spirit Halloween. He actually had a sign with a chain that said Christmas Past to make it real obvious. And,
they freaked out because I was talking about that last year when we did a few Christmas parades. I was like, we need to have the ghost from the Christmas Carol and go with it. So
I guess we should.
That was the idea. I mean, I just put a Santa hat on Slimer now, and they're okay with that. But ooh,
interesting.
We've got another guy that goes Ghost of Christmas Future for the win. Yeah, I think if Christmas Past scares a kid, Good Night Christmas Future would absolutely put them in the territory of never sleeping again.
We got about halfway through that parade, and we had the ghost hop in the Ecto, take the mask off, and just ride with me because we gave up.
I wonder how they would feel about, the kids would feel like, say, now if it was Slimer in the parade or Stay Puft. I wonder if that would go over any better.
Oh, I bet that would be fine. The bright colors make all the difference. Something you recognize.
I need to try and do the Grinch this year. Like, have somebody drive Ecto during a parade, and I just dress as the Grinch and put a proton pack on. That'd be kind of funny.
I think I even made a sign one year. It might have said Grinchbusters for a parade. Put the Grinch face in the logo instead of the no ghost. So,
well, I did.
You got it, but
yeah, one year I did put on. It was just a smaller parade. I got a Grinch mask, and so I did put the Grinch mask on while I was driving the car. So luckily, I had my girlfriend in the car with me. I'm like, you've got to keep an eye out because I've got a very small, limited vision looking out these eye holes. So I was like, help keep an eye out, make sure I'm going straight and nobody's running out in front of the car. So there was a kick out of that. Like, oh, it's a Ghostbuster. Then it's the Grinch.
yeah, everybody thinks the person driving the Ecto has it easy in a parade. Oh no, there's some stress.
Yeah, you've got to be constantly focused. You got to make sure kids don't jump out in front of the car. You got to go that right speed. You got to make sure your guys aren't too far behind. And yeah, it's a little stressful. And you got to wave at people too and smile. And there's a lot going on.
Yeah, but trying to run to catch up with you when I get held behind ain't no fun either.
Yep, I tell you guys, stay in front of me.
Because the thing is, a lot of people want to take pictures with you. Can I have a picture? Can I have a picture? Which, I'm just like, I'll give you a picture. I'm like, I'm here. And then I thought I was going to die at the end of Fun Fest parade. That was such a hard.
It was
parade,
hot,
man. That was really hot. Yes.
That reminds me, we got to look that up. Get the date for that. That's a fun parade.
It is a fun parade, but I'm driving this year. I'll take the risk.
We can do both cars again. Like, I've got that set up with Stay Puft and the Terror Dog.
That's true.
We can do two cars. Just have Blevins walk.
So, Chris, I noticed on your all's Facebook page, and I want to give you a big thank you for that, where you had shared our post about the Busterverse. And I want to give you a big thank you for that. That was very cool. And just wanted to throw that out there to you, man.
Yeah, that's huge. I love the concept. I mean, we've all seen some toxicity in the fandom, and it's a shame when someone doesn't feel comfortable going out and having fun dressing up in a costume. I don't care what the costume is. I don't care who the person is. If you want to go out and have fun and spread some cheer, power to you. And the same thing with a person here that said, if you see our Ecto, it's a safe space. Same with ours. Granted, we're still building it, but once it's built, it'll be a safe space for any Buster of any creed. Love the movement.
I will say, going back to just if you want to dress up, have fun, everything. When you dress as Walter Peck, you get harassed all day long by everybody. You get insulted, you get hated on, arrested.
Well, I was going to say, even the actor himself had problems after the movie came out. A whole school bus full of children got by and yelled at him and said,
he really got, like he got some physical altercations and stuff about it. He's not on social media anywhere. And I've really never seen, I've seen one other guy do it after me, but I've never seen anybody cosplay as Walter Peck. I never saw any photos of it. I mean, it might be out there, but I've never sseen it. And so after I did that, I took some, I printed out a few pictures and I sent it to his, fan mail address. And just, told him, I was like, this is pretty awesome. Everybody got a really good kick out of it. And I told him that people harassed me just for fun, as I'm sure you got harassed and stuff like that. And he actually wrote me back a really nice letter. Got back there on my dresser. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard William Mather took a lot of abuse for his role as Walter Peck in real life.
And yeah, same in Die Hard. He was just a hateable character, and he just did an amazing job playing hateable characters. And some people just can't separate that out.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There are some actors out there that is just their role in life is to play the villain, and I think that's what he ended up doing. Is I'm trying to think. There's a few others out there. I can't think of one right now. It's like I can see him in my mind, but
there was a Game of Thrones character that played Meryn Trant. I mean, you just hate that character so much. I mean, he's just a terrible character. And then I ran into the guy and talked to him, and he's like the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. And of course, I know that. And I told him, I was like, it's so funny to me sitting here talking to you, having a fun conversation with how much I hated you. It's just, I hate you, but this is a character you played. And he's like, but he was a super nice guy.
I think it was who was the actor that played Severus Snape in Harry Potter?
It was Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman?
Yeah, he played in one of the Die Hard movies as the villain, didn't he?
Yep, he was the first one.
Yeah, he was very good at being a villain as well.
He also played was it Marvin the manic depressed robot? Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
He also played the Metatron in Dogma.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. He played a good guy in that one, but yeah, he's hilarious.
I think the one of the actors that's recently that has kind of fallen into the being the villain in movies. The guy that played in Rogue One, who played Krennic. He plays the villain in Ready Player One. He played one of the villains in The Dark Knight Rises.
But he's playing kind of the villain / good guy now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he played the Skrulls. Yeah.
And it was so weird for me to see him playing a good guy because I had seen him in so many roles as the villain. It seemed so weird to see him as a good guy. But
I think it's weird. I think it's weird seeing Annie Potts play Nemo on Young Sheldon. I just think it's Janine as a grandmother and just her. If you watch Young Sheldon, you'll kind of get the gist of it. But she's runs a gambling house in the back of a laundromat. Alcoholic type. Drink a lot. Just is a hilarious character. Not what I was expecting. Because in The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon always defends, "Don't you make fun of my meatball." So you just think she's the sweetest lady in the world, which she's not. But anyway, Annie Potts plays her, and so it's just funny seeing her do that character.
I wish Annie Potts would have actually got to come to Knoxville back in 2015, I believe it was, and she had to cancel. That would have been great to got to meet her, got an autograph. Have you all met Minnie, Chris, of the Ghostbusters cast?
Met Dan at one of his Crystal Skull vodka signings. That was great.
Was that a couple years ago?
I want to say about 2015 or so. It was kind of when it was first taking off before the lines got huge and crazy. The fun thing was he went out, he pulled all the Ghostbusters into the room with him ahead of the rest of the line for a big press photo op because he knew, you got 20 Ghostbusters here, you got the press here, this would be great. Takes pictures with us. And then he says, "Okay, I will need some time with my Ghostbusters," and goes to shoo the press people out of the room. Most of them left, except this one guy with the camera. He wanted a picture of the private time. And Dan ended up escorting the guy out of the room, like by his shoulder. And we're all just standing there like, oh boy, is Dan like going to be rough and mean? Oh boy, Dan's being mean. I didn't know Dan could be mean. And then as soon as the guy's out of the room, he turns around, "My Ghostbusters," comes over, hugs everybody. It was amazing. He went out of his way.
I want to say it was 2018, 2019 that two guys in our group, I think they drove up to Jersey or someplace in that vicinity. Pennsylvania. Okay. And they went to go meet him. But I just happen to have my Crystal Skull sitting beside me. I'm not sitting here sipping it, but these are the coolest. And I don't drink a lot, but if I do get some vodka, I always get the Crystal Skulls because these are just the coolest bottles. I have like 2 or 3 empty ones that's just, I want to put like highlighter or something in one day, but I'm not plugging Crystal Skull vodka, but
he does go out of his way. Me, my wife, and a friend of mine, we went and saw him in where was it, St. Louis, years ago. He was doing a vodka bottle signing, and like Chris said, he pulls all the Ghostbusters together, tells everybody else pretty much nicely to F off, and sit there. He signed up to 3 things for each of us and gave us a picture. And at the end of it, he asked, "Did anybody miss getting an autograph or a picture with me?" And he was actually late picking his family up from the airport because he literally it's a fan service. He's just that nice.
Well, I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship. Dan made us, and we make Dan in a way. And it's you can't have one without the other. and I think Ernie Hudson is the same way. I mean, he does love the fans, and
yeah, he's awesome.
well, before we close out, Chris, do you have anything that you want to say out there before we end the episode?
Or any standout, crazy, funny stories?
Yes.
Oh,
I love a good funny story.
I do have one of those. I was going to Walmart beginning of the month one time, and it's a time when, not to get political, but a certain check comes out, so a certain clientele goes out shopping. And this lady came up, flagged me down like frantically. I'm thinking, oh, what's going on? She's got a problem, health issue, whatever. And she was extremely concerned about the new CVS being built in town because there might have been an Indian burial ground. And as Ghostbusters, we should have known about it. And we have to go to Township Committee and stop the CVS from being built because it's going to be haunted and people are going to die. And I didn't know how to play that, because you could see terror in her eyes, and I was there to save her. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord. Well, man, I think I explained to her that, well, as a Ghostbuster, we're actually a company, and we need a client to sponsor us. We'll happily represent you, but who's going to sponsor us to go and take care of all this business here? And
no job is too big. No fee is too big.
She was going to call me back as soon as she found somebody to sponsor us for our hourly rate, which I didn't specify the rate. There isn't one, but wow, that CVS is there now. It didn't get stopped. And I don't think it's haunted. They haven't.
I was going to say, you need to go and run the PKE major by it just to see, just to make sure. Now, have you ever went to anybody in the CVS and told them that story? By the way, you're in the Indian burial ground and you might be haunted. Here's my card.
Today, when I'm just passing through in costume, I probably should.
Then they'll probably call the cops on you.
Yeah.
Slammer. Yeah, I've been there a few times
said,
myself.
you only have to worry if Craig T. Nelson shows up.
But yeah, that was an experience for sure. Of course, like anyone, we get the "Are you guys for real?" But that was the one time I had someone that was just completely convinced this is real and you need to take care of this.
Call the professor.
I feel.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a great time to be a Ghostbuster right now. Between everything coming out from HasLab, 3D printing. Wow, the things possible with 3D printing, like a death whistle. In fact, you can go on Etsy and get one of these shipped for $15. Wow. It is a great time to be a Ghostbuster.
Right there.
Yeah, I've been debating on whether or not to get a regular 3D printer or the resin printer, and I'm kind of leaning toward the resin printer because of that death whistle that John has right there. I've seen it, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. And that's something I think we could maybe make and give away to charity auctions or whatever and stuff like that to help raise money for our charity drives.
Yeah, one of my best friends made that for me with his resin printer, and he does all the airbrushing and all that stuff. And because I could have printed it with my filament printer, but you just don't get that fine detail like you do with resin. The same thing in Jonathan. He's listing their episode, and he said that about the same time I was getting ready to say that.
Resin printers are nice, but get ready for a little bit more of an expense because the resin costs more sometimes than the filament does. Not much, but a little bit. And then there are certain ways you can't do it in your house unless you got a vent running outside your window for a
Good to
resin
know.
printer.
No,
Yeah.
you can buy a hood to go over them, and you should be okay. Because my friend, he keeps his in his house, and he's got a hood that he keeps over his printer.
But does it vent to like a window? Because they tell you, like with resin, like it's not really a big deal with the FDM printers, like what me and you have, John, where it really it's resin. They highly recommend you vent a pipe out your window with a fan or something.
Yeah, they can be
because
quite toxic.
Yes. Yeah, so you have
That's
to
good.
have a way to do that.
That's good to know because we've been thinking about putting a new shed in the behind the house, which I was going to turn into have a little workroom or something. That'd be more like So now I just probably need to wait for that.
That'd be your best bet, and then run a hose with a vacuum on it or a fan that
Yeah,
you can
outside.
put right to the back of that printer, and just when you're running it, and it'll suck the fumes out. You'd be all right then.
Blow it to my neighbor when out there because right behind where it bees up my neighbor's pool, so blast them all summer. So anyway,
Bad idea.
I guess we're about ready to wrap it up. Anything else you want to say, Chris? We've kind of taken over. We've been more chitty chatty of random stuff today.
Quite all right. Hey, thanks for having me on. Anybody in the South Jersey area or even surrounding areas, because we do travel quite a bit, interested in joining up, don't need a pack, anything like that. We have packs, we have spare meters, we have extra ghost traps. Hook us up. NJ Ghostbusters on Facebook or njgb.us. That's our website. We had a .org, but now it's a Chinese food website because I didn't renew it. It's kind of ironic with 16, but oh well. But yeah, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to have anyone.
Awesome.
All right, well, thanks for being on the show, and we look forward to talking with you again. And yeah, like he said, if you're wanting to go out and help a group with local charities and stuff, not just NJ Ghostbusters, but any Ghostbusters group out there, they are all very willing to help in the community. And if you're looking for something to do that you can help with your community, go and join a Ghostbusters group because you'll have a lot of fun doing it, and you'll make a lot of great friends out there. And with that,
I would like to do a quick plug here. Speaking of Ghostbusters and charity stuff, so I volunteer at a local cave here in Knoxville. It's called Cherokee Caverns, and we do events to fundraise to help protect the cave, and that's kind of what we do. And we used to show movies in the cave every month or two, and of course, COVID, we had to put that aside. But starting Saturday, April 30th, we are bringing back the movies in the cave, and they will be playing Ghostbusters Afterlife. So if you're in the Knoxville area, look up Cherokee Caverns or go to historiccherokeecaverns.com. And there's 11 a.m. showing, 1:30, 4, 6:30, and 9. It seats about 60 to 80 people per showing. And, of course, you get to go tour the cave, do everything you want to do. I'll be there. Ecto will be there for pictures and stuff. There'll be vendors there to buy food, some other fun stuff. So if you're in the Knoxville area, come check us out. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, all the money we raise goes back into the cave to help preserve it and educate people. And, so Boy Scout groups and kids can come and learn about the cave. So that's kind of my little side hobby I do. So let's give them a plug there if you want to come check us out on Saturday, April 30th.
all right, guys. Well, I look forward to our next episode, and thank you to all of the listeners out there that joined us live tonight. We really appreciate that, and we hope that we're going to be doing this more often. And with that, I bid you all good night, and God bless,
Peace.
my friend.